We all know that we have this thing inside of us, and we can't quite put our finger on it because when we're born we know what it is, but then through conditioning of this modern day world we kind of lose that knowing our kind of our what we're here for, our purpose, if you will. And we always talk about purpose. What is our purpose here on earth? What is your purpose? What is my purpose? What is everyone's purpose that's watching this video? And we may know when we're younger what we feel our purpose is, and we tend to forget that because we're told to go to school, get an education, get married, get a job, get the 401k, have a couple kids, maybe get a dog, buy the house, get a retirement fund, and then you die. That's what we're taught to do. And so thinking differently is going beyond that. And I think one of the things I always think, one of the most powerful statements I've ever heard also, and I've heard this from many different, from many different kind of like ways of explaining it, I guess you could say, is that it's usually the most counterintuitive things that you're going to actually experience that will bring you to the most knowing of inside of you. So you may think like you need to go do something because your logic, your brain is telling you to go do it, but your gut is telling you no. It's like something just that simple where your intuition that's lying like in your gut is actually very real. It's that the counterintuitive feeling that you get. It's like that gut feeling, but then your logic is like, no, I can't do that. That's just crazy. I don't know how crazy that sounds, but I can't do that, right? So you shut that off, right? You shut that completely off. And so now modern science is actually starting to prove that you don't just have one brain, but you have multiple brains. And this obviously is the one that we analyze the most. There's one inside your heart also. So you have in your heart, there's 40,000 neurons that are just firing off every single minute, every single second of the day. Now, here's a really cool, interesting fact, is they're finding a brain in your gut. There is a full-on brain sitting in your stomach through all your intestines and all your organs in there that talks to each other and tells your body, it tells you what to do. These intuitive feelings that come inside of us is very real. So paying attention to also like even your body and what your brain might tell you to do is actually going against what you really need to do, what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing here on this planet. And just like Susan mentioned, some of these people that have been inside this level, they were considered outlandish. They're like, who are these people trying to create these new laws, and Tesla, and we're talking about Kepler and Galileo and some of these people who had those concepts, and people are like, no, that can't be real. They were doing it not listening to this. They were doing it listening to here, listening to their gut. So what a new study has shown is that from the HeartMath Institute is that your brain's electromagnetic waves can be measured up to about 100 yards or so, up to that at the most. Your heart electromagnetic waves can be measured up to a mile away. So now we're starting to understand that our heart actually has some crazy vibrational energy to it. So listening to that and listening to the gut, all those intestines and all that stuff, that didn't just happen overnight. That's been forming and being created for millions and millions of years. That gut feeling that we get, that we hear, that gut feeling, it's very real. And it's very, very much in tune of how you can think differently. Your gut and your heart might tell you one thing, but your brain and your logic will always tell you to go the other way because it doesn't make sense in this modern day world that we live in. Once you can start understanding this heart, once you can start understanding this gut and just going with this more than this, everything changes. You start thinking differently, and logic almost becomes secondary because what you're doing just comes from a different place. It doesn't come from your brain trying to create something and trying to manifest something.